What is up, guys? Clief 101 here, and I wanted to have a bit of a chat about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, I've been doing some thinking, obviously having some discussion with some of you on the videos and whatnot, and it's been getting me to think about the remake a little bit more in terms of what we can expect to come from the game, as well as what I'm hoping to see and what will probably not make it in that I kind of want featured. So I just wanted to list some of those things off from the top of my head. I haven't planned this out or anything. I never plan these out, let's be perfectly honest. And just wanted to get straight into it. Now, a lot of there's a lot of conjecture with I suppose the word episodic. How the game is effectively going to be released in stages or in parts or in episodes, which was the terminology that was used when it first sort of was announced that this was going to happen in this way. But I just wanted to clarify some things because obviously the remake through the internet, through the internet world that we are all in, seems to have a misconception about what that actually means. Now, the common misconception is that Square Enix are doing this purely as a money grab, because you can pay for a few games as opposed to one, whereas we're only really getting one game sort of thing, and that's not entirely true. In fact, it's quite false. Final Fantasy VII Remake in multiple parts. Each part that is being released is a full game. It is effectively the same size game as what the original Final Fantasy VII would be in terms of playable hours, not in terms of story content, okay? Now, this is the thing that we need to define. This is going to be like a 40 to 60 hour game of playable content, not story content. So it is effectively a full-fledged game. That's pretty good, I think. And I doubt... I'm not sure actually on pricing. I would doubt that they would charge a full AAA title for each part, but I wouldn't go so far as to say that they would charge less than, say, 3/4 of a AAA title. That's my theory anyway. There are also some suggestions that the game is going to be coming out in 2018 and not 2017. And I think that those theories are wrong as well. 2017 is the 20th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII, and I have long theorized that at least the first part would release in 2017 at some point in time. I'm thinking it's probably going to be in the third quarter of the year, possibly the fourth quarter to come with Christmas sales and everything. Not sure, we'll see what happens on that front, but that's what I think will happen. 2017, not 18, and then probably the rest of the parts released maybe a year after each other from there. I think that would be a good frequency for them to be coming out, personally. What do you think? I think once a year, around about the same time of the year, gives us a good chance to get a full grasp on each game, explore, because these games are going to be fully explorable. Which leads me to my next thing. Where is this first part going to end? Now, depending on where it ends, depends on the content that we are also able to do. I think that the content, the first part, should end somewhere around... I would like it to end after we get Sid, because I feel as though the first part of the game is actually character development, not story development. There is some developments within the story, but predominantly it's all character development. Every single character has their own character arc, bar Yuffie and Vincent, for obvious reasons of them being optional characters within the original game, but every character in the main sort of that you have to get has their own character development arc story, right up until you actually get Sid, and then it starts to go really fast-tracked into the story. Now, I think it would be ideal from a story point of view to end the first part after we get Sid, after we get the tiny Bronco and are then going to be traveling around. I think that would be ideal. How that would stop us from doing anything after that would be quite tricky, because obviously you want some end game stuff to be able to go through and do some things as well, instead of just, you know, you finish this point, you can't do anything more. If you want to do anything more, you're going to have to do it before or everywhere else, before you can freely travel the world map. I think perhaps as well, we've got to wait for the full access of the world map before the first part ends, which then leads me to think maybe it ends at the ship across the ocean between the two continents after you fight Genova for the first time. Maybe that is a turning point, because it does end on a bit of a cliffhanger. It's the first time that we actually see Sephiroth in the game besides the flashback. So obviously it is full blown. We're on the chase for this guy. And that particular point in time in the game really epitomizes that we are chasing Sephiroth. And I think ending there would be a good point. There is another reason that I think it would be a good point to end there, and that's because at that point we get full access to the mechanics of the game. And what I mean by that is, it's a lot of people are saying that it's going to end at the end of Midgar, and I don't think that it shouldn't end there. And that is for two reasons, really. One is enemy skills and summons. Now, if summons are returning in this game, and I really, really hope that they are, you don't get the first one until after you leave Midgar, which means we would have to wait for the second part to even be able to see what is going to be happening with those summons. We have absolutely no idea, and probably won't for a while. I am guessing that it will end at the end of Midgar, but the problem with that is, if you are going to be making these games, 60 hours long, full-blown games, Midgar just does not have enough content to last 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours, 30 hours. The game itself in the original game takes no more than 2.5 to 3 hours to get out of Midgar, and that is whilst doing everything in there. That is whilst collecting all of the items to actually get Cloud Chosen while you're dressing up. It's to get everything. That's even to be able to steal the items, the weapons that make you stronger before you actually are able to buy them. That's including that. 3 hours tops to get out of Midgar, typically speaking. Times that by 10, I can't see there being times 10 more content. Now, yes, I understand that it'll be much more explorable, which is all well and good. That's fine and dandy. In fact, that's absolutely fantastic. But in terms of content that you can actually go through and do, I just don't see there being 30 to 40, 50, 60 hours worth of content in Midgar alone. And that's why I think getting to Junon and on the way to Costa del Sol is the way to end it. It's got to be the place to end it, I think. Maybe even going into the Mithril Mines after you see what Sephiroth has done to the Midgazolem. That way you've got the first summon. You've just got the first summon. You've just used the Chocobo. Maybe that's a good way to end it. You leave it on a bit of a cliffhanger with Sephiroth's just unrivaled strength, and it gives you the first portion of the first continent to go through and explore and run around and do things in. So maybe that's the way to go. So there are 4 ending points that we've just discussed of where the first part could end, and any one of them could potentially be done depending on how well it is done. But I definitely think Midgar cannot be the stopping point for the first part. It probably will be, but I really hope it's not. This leads me to another thing that I wanted to discuss, something that I'd only actually thought of today, which is what prompted me to make this video in the first place, and that is the combat system. Now, I think it's been confirmed, or partially confirmed, that the combat system is going to be a 3-party system again. It looks as though you can interchange which character you are particularly using, perhaps mid-battle as well. And that looks fantastic. It's going to be a Dissidia-esque style combat, which again is great because it makes it feel more like Advent Children combat, which is what they're going for. Awesome, right? What I'm actually hoping for is something a little bit extra as well, and something that I think would really up the ante within this game, and that is not having a party system at all. Could you imagine, okay, just stay with me here. Could you imagine going through the Shinra building, just obtaining Red 13, and then using all 5 party members to battle that experiment monster as soon as you get Red 13. Think of it like this, okay? They want to make the combat more Advent Children style, so it feels like you're playing sort of like an Advent Children combat system. Could you imagine at the end of the game when you're fighting, say, Ultimate Weapon in Medill, and you have all of your party members battling Weapon, much like they do fighting Bahamut Sin in Advent Children? Now just think about that for a second. You can interchange between each character as you're going. So this character has built something up, I don't know, they want to use a particular move, or you want them to use a particular move to be able to knock back the Ultimate Weapon a little bit, so that way you can bring Sid in to maybe use his jump boost, limit break or something like that, to come in with an attack, and then he gets knocked back even more. Sorry for that. Do you know what I mean? Like you're swapping and changing, you're controlling each one, you might only be controlling one, you're getting a feel for the battle, you get like assists in battle, where you get a similar thing, you know, someone's in the air, they catch you, they throw you up higher so you can get a higher advantage point to be able to attack the weapon from above. How sick would that be? And I think the combat system within Dissidia and the Dissidia-esque combat style would allow us to be able to do something like this. But it would only work with a full combat party system. I think having and limiting it to 3 party members would devalue that kind of system if the characters can interact with each other whilst in the middle of a fight. That is the way that Final Fantasy VII needs to go, I think, personally. Are they going to implement it like that? I very highly doubt it. But just thinking about it just sends shivers down my spines. Like, it's just... I had this thought just today. I was discussing it with someone on YouTube in my comments feed on my latest video. And it's just... Could you imagine doing that? Like, seriously. Anyway, what I want to do for you guys... What do you want from the game? What do you want to happen out of the remake? Is there anything that you want to have implemented? Don't talk about turn-based combat, okay? This game does not have turn-based combat. It will not have turn-based combat. It will not work with turn-based combat. World of Final Fantasy is proving that, okay? Final Fantasy 15 is proving that. Please, in the comments section, don't go, oh, it should have turn-based combat. No, it shouldn't. Get with the times. I'm not saying that turn-based combat is outdated. It has its place with certain games. This is not one of them. What else would you like from this game though? What mechanics would you like to be introduced or refined or retained? How do you think the materia system will work in an action style game? How would you like it to work? These are the things that I've been thinking a lot about recently, particularly whilst I've been recording my Road to Remake series, and I've thoroughly been enjoying that series. It's so fun to do, and the voice acting in it is tremendous. Now this leads me to one other thing with regards to Final Fantasy VII. I'm currently working on a very large scale project. I am in the midst of planning it, and I have been making contacts with some people within the YouTube world. However, I still need some more contacts to fall back on. Now, I'm not going to be revealing anything within this video other than I am looking for voice actors who might be able to voice some characters within this game. Okay, so if you think that you have the voice that matches any character, it could be a main character, it could be a secondary character like Rufus or Reno, it could be an NPC or multiple NPCs or anything like that, let me know. Comment down below, send me a message through YouTube, send me a message through Twitter, send me a message through Facebook. However you want to contact me, let me know. I am looking for voice actors right now. Nothing in the works, you know, there won't be any work right now, and this will be a sort of unpaid job, but there will be credits and you will be credited for your work, but it is a long time role that I need commitment for. So if you think that you are ideal for this, then let me know and I will talk to you about it some more privately. I am Clief101. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you do like this kind of stuff where I'm talking about the news, Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 7, Remake, what I want, what you want, what I think will happen, what I want to happen, so on and so forth, then please leave a like on the video. That's about all I can say, and share it around if you can. Thanks. Bye.